Today we're going to be talking about Google Calendar and specifically how to use the various calendars within Calendar to great effect. Um, Similar to a paper calendar where you have maybe use different colors to represent different types of events or different people's events, Google Calendar allows you to do this as well. So for example, I have blue and red and green, each of those representing different members of my family. So I've got my own, I've got my son's, I've got a family one, and then I've got my husband's as well as a joint one for the both of us. So I'm just going to go back here. This is the calendar that we talked about yesterday, or in the last video. And we've got just simply one calendar here. Let's try and create a new calendar here. So I'm just going to click on this button here that says Other Calendars, and there's a plus sign. I can subscribe to a calendar. This again is somebody else's calendar, usually an organization, for example, a school or a club that has their own calendar, and you can actually subscribe to it to get all of their events onto your own calendar. We're going to use Create New Calendar. It gives you the option of choosing a name. Let's pretend I'm making one for work. You can add a description. I'm not going to bother doing that. I'm going to click this blue button. It's going to go gray while it's creating it, and it'll go blue again if I want to create a new one. I'm not going to create a new one at the moment. I'm just going to go back. And if you notice, it has now put work right here. So I've got my original calendar. I've got my reminders and my tasks. If I actually don't want to see this, or I can, I can just display that or whatever. I don't really care at the moment, so I'm just going to leave it. But you can see I can actually click off those other things. Here is work. If I now click on a date, I can now add an event. I have now got it for 12 to 1. I'm going to go scrolling down to this calendar symbol where it has right now Ronnie Hannon. If I click on that, I can choose the new calendar I've created. There's automatically one that is set as a default. That's something you can change in your settings. I'm going to change it to work, and I'm going to save. And now you can see that I've got two different colors here representing the two different calendars. You'll notice this one's a little bit lighter than this one. An event that takes place in the past is now grayed out a little bit, whereas ones that are in the future are nice and dark. Now, what if I want to share this calendar with somebody else? So for example, with my sons, I have their calendars showing on my own calendar, but they're allowed to access it. So let's pretend I want to share this calendar with somebody else. I'm going to go to Settings and Sharing. I'm going to scroll down, or I'm going to go down over here to Share with Specific People, and I'm going to add somebody. I'm just going to add my own email address. Pretend I'm somebody else. I'm going to click Send, but before I do that, I actually can check the permissions. This is going to show that it's set for all event details. So that means I can see everything that goes on. I could just see whether or not I'm busy or free. That's a great one if you're using it for work. Make changes to events. So this is something that, for example, my sons and I share that their calendars. They can change things, I can change things. But when I share mine with them, they're not allowed to change it. And then this one, they could also manage the sharing. I'm just going to leave it as see all event details. Click send. That is going to automatically generate an email that has a link in it to allow that person to open up their calendar and see this new calendar that has been created. Here you go. I have just seen that I've got now that that I can share that email. I'm just going to make sure it's going to go into the right place. And I'm going to click here, add this calendar, and automatically Google Calendar is going to allow me to see that new thing. Add calendar. I'm going to say yes, add, and it is now in my calendars under other calendars. And it's that one that's called ronniehannon at gmail.com. And voila,